Thanks so much for joining me on the telecast. Meanwhile, more news coming in. India has raised 3 key questions for Meta during a Parliamentary Standing Committee meeting amid concerns over online content moderation and platform accountability. Parliamentary Committee's members sought clarity on Meta's policies for removing harmful or unlawful content and the safeguards in place to prevent algorithmic verification of misinformation and hate speech, and the measures adopted to ensure transparency and compliance with Indian laws. The interaction is part of Parliament's broader scrutiny of major technology platforms and their role in shaping the digital information ecosystem. But Meta has faced similar scrutiny in India and globally over issues related to content moderation, misinformation, user privacy, algorithmic transparency and compliance with local laws, and the company has previously appeared before parliamentary panels and regulatory authorities over the spread of fake news, election-related content, online safety and data protection concerns. It has also dealt with investigation and legal challenges in multiple countries regarding its moderation policies and platform governance. In fact, let's take a look at some reports throughout the years about how Meta has been questioned. So I'll be taking you through exactly how it started out. First of all, in India, when we talked about how when we had a discussion regarding Meta removed for temporarily, briefly, there was a post by Prime Minister Modi, which was an address to the nation. You can see on your screen as well, that post was briefly disabled. It was not visible for the Indian audience, and it was in regards to his video in regards to the paper leak incident that were taking place and his response to all the protests that were taking place. But that video was temporarily, it was disabled. It was not visible to the Indian audience, even though it was not violating any norms. Even after that, Meta offered that they would apologize, but obviously it begs the question, why exactly Meta has the authority to do and get away with all of this? It's not just pertaining to Prime Minister Modi, it's a lot to do how there's a double standard with how certain videos are openly available on any platform, social media platform, or Facebook or Instagram, and the fact that certain videos are not safe and that the privacy concerns are also raised when we talk about deepfake, AI, as well as the fact that child pornography, all of these videos are circulated online, but those videos are not removed or are not under scrutiny as much as a particular video which was an address by the head of the state. And when we talk about another, when we talk about the fact what else Meta was under scrutiny for, political dispute ahead of Turkish elections as well. The Oversight Board has overturned Meta's original decisions to remove the posts of 3 Turkish media organizations, all containing a similar video of a politician confronting another in public. So it's just not in our country that something like this is taking place. We have also seen several times Mark Zuckerberg has also appeared before Senate in US as well in regards to several questions being raised pertaining to these privacy issues as well. So another point to note is even in Turkey and in concerns to Turkish elections as well, Meta was involved under scrutiny in terms of this, and the fact that they removed posts of 3 Turkish media organizations which were about the same thing. And again, it begs the question, why is this selective selection of certain videos not being available on Meta, but certain videos frequently you can see online that are available, which obviously are not safe for anyone to see, and yet those levels of gatekeeping is not available on Meta for those videos. Another thing to see is Meta's Oversight Board says account bans lack due process and transparency. So this is the explanation that they have given, that Meta's Oversight Board has stated that the independent governing body that makes policy recommendations to the tech company has stated that Meta's account deactivations lack due process and violations are doled out without clarity, and there's little customer support for appeal. So even the Oversight Board has also highlighted and talked about the fact that how weak and how many loopholes exist within this, that the fact that deactivations also lacks its due process and violations are just doled out without any clarity, because even in the case of Prime Minister Modi, just an apology was offered, that's all. And when we talk about another of the incident that has taken place is the fact that should platforms have the power to ban leaders like Donald Trump? So it obviously it's a larger question to have when we talk about all these social media platforms, especially the larger governing body and the larger body being Meta. Do they have the authority to do something like this? And this is a discussion that has been ongoing. What kind of authority would they have to remove the videos of a person like Prime Minister Modi or even major politicians or major governing figures in any other country? And when we take a look at the other article saying if Facebook bans Myanmar army chief, others in unprecedented move. So it's just not limited to the fact of politicians or public figures. It's also to the fact that Facebook also banned Myanmar army chief and others in an unprecedented move as well. So again, when we talk about the fact that it's just not India, it's also other countries. It's also globally that something like this is taking place, when we have seen Meta has been under scrutiny over their privacy issues for so long, even when they talk about end-to-end encryption. And another thing to see is Associated Press has talked about is social media companies sued over deaths of 4 teens as pressure lawsuit over child safety mount. So one of the big question is how much, when we talk about the content that is being pushed online, is about child pornography, or a certain level of, when we talk about videos that are available, you can see even the gender bias is visible as well. Another point to note is Instagram is running ads promoting child sexual abuse material in India, and that's what the BBC has investigated and reported. So you can see the level of double standards and hypocrisy even in their the fact that the screening levels within Meta, how bad that is if they are allowing running ads promoting child sexual abuse or pornography material, and all of these deepfake AI altered videos, fake news that are running on social media, that is allowed to run. But what is happening in terms of screening those as well? Another thing to note is Meta told to pay 375 million for misleading users over child safety. So you can see how many times this action and these questions have been raised. This is not the first time. This is something that has been reported even on 25 March 2026, where Meta was told to pay $375 million for misleading users. This is not the first time that even users have questioned the idea that a lot of their content is being misused. And a certain kind of, when we look at our algorithm as well, a certain kind of videos are available when someone opens their Instagram or Facebook. You can understand how shadow ban also works within these platforms as well. And when we talk about BBC, it also stated India orders Meta to remove ads promoting child sexual abuse. So not just other countries, even India has also ordered to remove ads promoting child sexual abuse when we talk about Meta. And the Indian government also said that they have to immediately disable advertisements or content on Instagram that promote or facilitate child sexual abuse material. So obviously this raises a lot of question in terms of the disparity within how they're screening this process, because a lot of videos face a lot of scrutiny, like Prime Minister Modi's video was briefly disabled, but then there are a lot of videos that are questionable that are available. Now joining me on the telecast is Pawan Duggal, cybersecurity expert. Pawan, thank you so much for joining me on the telecast. First of all, in your expertise, since this is your domain, what exactly do you think are the ways that one can avoid loopholes, or you can see the level of double standards within the system as well? What safeguards should be put in place for something like this?
I think the biggest safeguard is please go ahead and implement the law in its full form. In this case, in India, we have Section 79 of the IT Act, which mandates intermediaries like Meta to exercise due diligence. If you do not exercise due diligence, you will end up losing your statutory exemption from legal liability. Now, in this case, they have gone ahead and violated the law. The question is, should a mere sorry be sufficient? I think in the eyes of law, sorry has no meaning. When you are supposed to be doing mandatory compliances, you can't say, sorry, I didn't do it, please let me exempt myself from the application or the consequences of law. That does not happen. So I think the onus is now on the Indian government to implement the Section 79 of the IT Act in letter and spirit and take it forward to its logical conclusion. Because just because you are a big tech company, because you have the ability and the muscle to do what you want to do, it should not be coming across that, look, you can go ahead and hoodwink the law. or that you can go ahead and play with the law and just say sorry and walk away without any consequences. So the onus comes back on the government. Let's look at how the government wants to go forward. Does it want to extend the honeymoon that it's been extending to all these intermediaries for the last 1 decade? Or should it want to go ahead and take some stringent action? I really advocate that some stringent action need to be taken. Why? Because it's not just on Meta, it's a message to the ecosystem at large. That look, you cannot go ahead and play with the legal provisions, otherwise you are bound to be facing legal challenges and legal consequences.
All right. All right, Pawan, thank you so much for giving regarding this. We'll obviously continue, but shifting our focus to more news coming in. A student protest over alleged